have to do it if you don't want to.
I want to.
Okay. You got it.
Hello, Monica here. What are you scared of?
Scared of.
Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Or all of the above? Oh no. What are you scared of? Lots of people are scared of different things, and for good reason. Maybe it's spiders, maybe it's heights, maybe it's holes.
Why are you so set on people being scared of holes?
Because lots of people actually have like the trichophobia or something, you know, like when you see like the holes.
Have that.
Oh yeah.
I get really grossed out by like beehives.
I think holes are like on the up. Like I think that's what people are actually most scared of.
What are you scared of?
Should I go on the journey of how I figured out what I'm scared of or what? Okay, well, I don't not like swimming. Like I enjoy sitting in shallow water, but deep water, no thank you. I can't swim. I can do lots of other things on land. So I was in the wade pool.
And I didn't know how to swim. I think I don't know. I would like lie on my stomach and see other people swim. And then like a little beach turtle moving my arms. So like the kind of like the giant wave came as I was like in the water.
I am afraid of deep water. I said it. If I can figure out what fear is, maybe I can beat it. So let's figure it out. What is fear?
Here's what I found.
She's Irish. I made her Irish, by the way. You guys know now. Fear is an intensely unpleasant emotion in response to perceiving or recognizing a danger or threat. What are you
Threatened by.
All I know is I know nothing.
You know nothing.
Okay, maybe I know some things. For example, I know that if you want to get some real answers, like I mean aside from an Irish Siri, then you gotta dive in head first. To get myself in the fearful spirit, I brought Matt and Marianne along to the Legends of Horror walk at Casa Loma, you know, for some ground level research.
We are walking through the haunted outside, 'cause it's not a house. Haunted castle? Ooh, look at all the babies.
No!
The dinner's ready. It was the slow walk for me.
No, thank you.
Oh my gosh!
Why do they always jump at me, though?
Oh my gosh!
Yes, I would say this is definitely a monster mash.
Okay, that was definitely scary, mostly for Marianne, but overall it was really fun. So that got me thinking, if fear is such a negative emotion, why do we seek it out? Research shows that people are seeking out fear in higher numbers than ever before. To find out more, I got in touch with Margie Kerr, the author of Scream, The Chilling Adventures in the Science of Fear. I'm just really excited to talk to you today because I've never heard of anybody who studies fear. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Could you introduce yourself and what you do?
Primarily, I research fear with the focus on trying to understand how and why people engage with scary material. So, essentially, why do we like to be scared?
From studying people as they walk through a haunted house to traveling the globe to experience some of the world's scariest attractions herself, Margie has researched all angles of fear. So what's so good about it anyway?
Certainly, there is a big physiological component. There is that kind of natural high that people talk about when we're intentionally scaring ourselves. We're getting that increase in circulation of adrenaline and even endorphins and a lot of different things that in the absence of real threat can be interpreted as making you feel powerful. You can train yourself to continue to push your boundaries. So, instead of coming up to a stress or a challenge and saying, okay, I'll just avoid it, I don't have to do it, I've taught myself to investigate that and say, why? Why am I afraid to do this thing?
You've been to some of the scariest known attractions in the world. What would you say is the scariest thing you've ever done?
I have been to some amazing haunted houses, but when it comes to the scariest thing I've ever done, it is hanging off the side of the CN Tower.
Okay, hold on. Did a fear expert really just say that the scariest thing she's ever done was hang off the tower that happens to be around the corner from us? I think you know what we're about to do next. It took a little convincing, but I eventually got everyone to head downtown to experience the CN Tower Edge Walk for ourselves. 1,168 feet of absolute terror. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness, that's a long way down. Why don't you guys come out? Check it out. Ah, there you go. Whoa. Welcome, Matt. Oh my God. Marianne, you got this. And then go over there with Matt. Laura and Monica. Let's give it a nice. All right, welcome to the Edge Walk. Yes. This activity, are you all right, Marianne? You sure? All right. So this activity is called Toes Over Toronto. And you can Good job, Monica. So you walk back?
Honestly, Matt and I were pretty chill about the whole thing. Laura and Marianne, on the other hand, they really had to, as Margie would say, push their boundaries.
No way. Oh my God.
I feel it.
Are you insane?
You got this. A little bit more.
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. Okay,
Alright.
now what? Now what?
A little bit more.
No.
All right, and then you're gonna push yourself back.
You're kidding
So
me.
you're gonna straighten your knees. You're already there. Lock your knees. Yes. Good job, Laura. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay. You got it. Okay. That works. And then push yourself back. Good job, Laura. You want to come back in? No, you want to see this? Okay. Ah, good job, Matt. We're not going to take photos yet.
This was definitely a core memory in the works. But I needed to know more. Like, what exactly was happening inside our heads? I sat down with neuroscientist Sheena Jocelyn to dive in even deeper.
I'm a senior scientist at the Hospital for Sick Children and a professor of psychology, physiology at the University of Toronto. Fear. Fear is a really important emotion. So Darwin said fear was like highly conserved evolutionarily, and it is. But fear is this specific emotional response to an imminent threat. Fear and a lot of other emotions take place in this part of the brain called the amygdala. Now, the amygdala is apparently Latin for almond, because one of the early histologists that looked at our brains said, oh, this looks like an almond, and they called it amygdala. So this place in our brain, the amygdala, is shooting out all kinds of signals, and it's telling our breathing center to speed up breathing. It's telling our sweat center to start sweating. It's telling our pupils to dilate, to really get ready for action. It's sort of the fight or flight response that happens.
Is fear connected to memory?
So memories are not what people normally think they are. They're not like a snapshot or a little snippet of a video of an event that actually happened. They are always sort of a reinterpretation of something. We have like 100 billion neurons in our brain, but we don't need all of them to encode any one particular memory. So what we do is we pick a sparse population of neurons that are really active when an event is occurring. So I put my hand on a hot stove. A very small number of neurons in the amygdala are active, And these are the cells that initially encode a memory. And they also communicate with other cells outside of this area in my brain. And together, these cells make up the memory trace, that bit of the brain that seems to hold this memory. So whenever I reactivate these cells, the memory comes to mind. So I can do that by either seeing a stove, aha, that reminds me of, and it reactivates these cells, or I can do it internally, picture a stove, I'm like, aha, and then I can reactivate these cells just by thinking about it.
Is it possible to re-encode your memories?
Yes, it is. Every time I recall a memory, I activate these cells in my brain that seem to store this memory, I can add new information. So if I go up to the top of the CN Tower, I'm really afraid, I'm reactivating this really fearful memory, I can re-encode it with some nice bits. Okay, it's not so bad up here. Okay, I had an ice cream cone up here. I can change the memory. And memories are supposed to be changed because we learn new things and we have to learn on top of the old things and make an even better memory, a better representation of our experience in the world around us. You know, when you're sitting around with your friends and you say, oh, you know, that actor, that guy, he was in that movie. Oh, he's Ben Affleck's friend. He was in that movie about, you know, MIT. And eventually somebody will go, oh, Matt Damon. You're like, yes, Matt Damon.
Little did Sheena know, but the movie she's referencing, Good Will Hunting, happens to be my all-time favorite movie. And Matt Damon, my all-time favorite actor. When I was 18, I literally traveled to Harvard just so I could see the filming locations. I know. To me, this is a clear sign that I'm on the right path, and that it's finally time to face my greatest fear of all: swimming. And all the terrifying things that come with it. Like, I'm talking really terrifying. If you would have told me 3 weeks ago that I'd be going in the water without one of these, or these, I wouldn't believe you. But I figure if I can re-encode this memory of swimming with a better, more fun experience, then maybe I can start to retrain my brain to feel differently about the water. So I went to Davina's swim house to get a swimming lesson from Davina herself.
So you said to me that usually waist.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. No. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Let's stop. We can stop here. Okay.
All right.
So let's just.
This is way harder than I thought it would be in the shallow.
Okay. So we're gonna go right to the shallowest area.
If it isn't obvious, I was really nervous when we first started. But I got to name the duck.
Yeah. Matt Damon.
And that made me feel better.
Basically, let's just kind of stretch out a little bit on here, and you have this seat. Okay. It's okay. Stand up. Put your feet down. How are you feeling right now?
Feels like it's harder to breathe.
Okay, so let's put our feet back down. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's stand up. You feeling better now that your feet are on the ground?
Yeah.
How does this feel?
It's still harder to breathe.
Okay. How does that feel? Breathing, remember to breathe?
Oh yeah.
Okay, breathing is important. Okay, one hand on. Okay, I'm gonna hold your hands, okay, so that you know that I'm there.
This is the longest time my feet have never touched the ground.
Good, look at that, that was an awesome one. Ernie, how does that feel?
Good.
Awesome.
Even though I was freaked out, being able to talk it through with Davina was really helpful and actually kind of fun. Davina made me feel really safe, and then without me even realizing, it was easier to breathe. We started slow, but eventually I was able to float and kick on my back, and eventually swim. That's right, guys, that's literally me swimming. I actually can't believe I was able to push my boundaries and do this, but I think it proves that fear isn't something to be so scared of after all. It's a natural part of being alive, and it can be good or bad or everything in between. All I know is, if you dig deep into your fears, you can actually learn a lot about yourself, and that's never a bad thing.
And then I went to here, I did this, and then I went to like here, and then like one more thing, and I would be a safe swimmer.
How do you like them apples?